Hey, this is Notser, and this is the Tier 7 U.S. Battleship Colorado. It's got 8 main guns, 16 secondary guns, 75 AA guns, has a top speed of 21 knots, and we are on the map North. This is a high tier game, so I'm low tier with my friend who is in Pensacola. And right now, I was initially thinking I was going to head west, but the scenario will change. We got some Yamatos, Montanas, Iowas, big battleships in this game. No aircraft carriers, but really big battleships. The enemy doesn't have a single destroyer. They're completely comprised of cruisers and battleships, and I'm spotted and taking fire. Thankfully, minimal damage. But just look at the amount of rounds coming in. So, I'm too far forward. I have a weakness in this map, one of the shortest range. So, my thought process is, as long as I'm in line of sight of these battleships, they'll kill me. Because in order to return fire, I have to be so close. So I'm headed back, away from that area.
Scout launched.
Right now, the 4 battleships on the left side are line of sight. So, we will head back to the middle of the map. Look for a target that will not return fire with 3 other friends. Just barely avoid damage there. And there's a North Carolina. North Carolina is the Tier 8 U.S. battleship. It's the first battleship that gets speed greater than 21 knots. I can't wait to be faster than 21 knots. And we land a shot. Minimal damage. And I have an escort of a Pensacola. We head back to the east side, kind of filling in the middle of the map. That ding right there means that he's probably firing AP, and it ricocheted when it hit the metal steel. And we set him on fire. He'll have to put that out. So we switched to AP. I've been told, and I've tried it in practice, that what you want to do is you want to use HE at extreme long range, and then switch to AP when you're within 11, 10 kilometers, and you can guarantee the angle that the shot will go in broadside and at the hull level is ideal. Or you get a plunging fire on the deck. We have pretty good accuracy, and only 1 hits. Very minimal damage. You see these 3 ships kind of making a break through the 8 line. We only have 2 cruisers that really have line of sight on them, and they're taking fire. And half our team is going up the 10 and 9 line, so they are unable to return fire on these guys who are pushing through on the 8 line. So, if we weren't here with our friend, these ships would overrun the 2 friendly cruisers, and our team would be split in half. As it turns out, I get to fire AP rounds at a target that's broadside with me. Only 2 of them land, He's so low that he'll die to a friendly. Yep, there he goes. So we got a battleship, a cruiser. That battleship is firing on me. Kind of dodge, kind of not. Fire AP. Come on, land good shots. No, they don't. Only 3 of those land. And it's an American battleship, so it's very agile. It's not as fast as others, but can definitely avoid fire. And you can see in the background a friendly battleship has just come around on Iowa. He's putting shots on that enemy cruiser. We'll see if we can kill this cruiser up front with AP rounds, and we do! Yeah! So it looks like 2 rounds were all that were needed. Don't know how many would have actually landed, but we got 2 Citadel crits, and that was enough to take out that enemy cruiser from about 50% health. AP rounds are ineffective with a destroyer. The HE rounds for a destroyer are doing 95% of what an AP round would do, but they don't require penetration. Whereas on a battleship, it scales up where AP does about double damage when it is penetrating. When it doesn't, it does something like that. It's ineffective. Whenever a ship is angled, it makes it a harder shot to penetrate with the armor. You really want to use your AP rounds on the broadside of an enemy ship that is within range to exploit the trajectory to land where you place it. So either you have enough accuracy at 10 kilometers to land at the hull baseline where it hits the water, or you want to land on the deck. And only one hit, it penetrated the deck for 4K damage. But it didn't hit any vital parts of the ship. And a friendly sets him on fire. I believe you'll have to burn. I think his damage control has been used. I'm trying to get this guy before he escapes. But he's at that angle where it's a difficult penetration. And we don't do any damage, but we take out one of his guns temporarily. And for an AP round to do that, it has to land directly on the gun. Do 2 shots and they don't really do any damage. But we're holding this area. The enemy has retreated. They're taking fire from the northeast side. There's also something interesting. Some battleships, the rounds they fire have different velocities based on whether it's AP or HE. So a higher velocity round will be easier to hit at long distance because it'll take less time to get to the target. Wargaming doesn't make this information public through the UI, but hopefully as the game matures, we'll get more information. Oh, there we go.
Battleship sunk.
We didn't do any crazy damage, we just did enough. But hopefully we'll be able to get that information so we can decide that, maybe Colorado is an example where the AP round has a higher velocity. So it's easier to land long-range shots. But you don't know. So, yep, we cleared out this area. The 4 ships that tried have pretty much been destroyed. There's an enemy battleship that looks to be moving to the middle of the map and towards our base. And right now I'm talking to my friend and I'm saying, I really want to head off this battleship in the center. I'm not totally committed down this line, and I'm able to turn the ship and to go back and go after him. So that's what I decided to do. By doing this, it should set me up where I have good flanking fire, and I'm able to land shots on a target that isn't going to return fire because there's 3 enemy ships in front of him. The enemy has control over the west side of the map, and they just wiped out one of our ships. That Admiral guy is in a tier 10. So, broadside. We only have our front guns that have turned. But we're able to damage one of his turrets, and we do okay damage. I've had some games where I've done 90,000 or 100, and I've done salvos of 50,000 in these tier 10s. If you land your AP rounds in the right spot, AP will reward you for landing a shot. That's a pretty good shot. And there we go, we take him out. We're able to land those shots. I was able to penetrate. We got a Citadel penetration on the second one. So, the game is still close. The enemy still has an Iowa. And I believe they have a Montana out west. It's Iowa is just destroying my friend. And my friend is trying to retreat. And I look over and yeah, my friend's basically dead. He was full health before he moved forward like that. And I would probably be dead too if I would have moved forward. I had no idea he was in the area. But my decision to come back and to go after this enemy battleship that was by our base saved me for the time being. And I also like that this guy is out of sight. He can't turn fire on me if I decide to continue this path and he continues his path. I'll basically be able to shield myself from his fire for a while. Of course, at the time, I was like, I'm trying to get over to help you. But he wiped him out, and he's going to try and wipe that guy out. And then his attention will be on me. For some reason, this enemy battleship is all the way by his base. I don't know why he's so far away from everything. And he doesn't have range on anything. So, as I've been playing, especially Battleships, I'm trying to learn when to use AP and when to use AG. I take pretty good shots there. I can't really do anything about it. I have shorter range than most of these ships. But using AP and using AG and deciding when to is a very important skill on a battleship. You want to use your AG when you feel like you don't have the accuracy to land the shot where you want it. I should probably use HE right now. I don't really have the accuracy to land the shot, so it will penetrate. But I want to close that distance. To me, they have the advantage. They can fire on me. I can only fire on one of them. This is what you deal with as a lower tier. This is a good example of not overstepping your abilities. If I was tier 9 or a 10 in the same scenario, and there we go.
Enemy battleship
You do a
destroyed.
crit, take out his turret, and kill him with the damage down. If I was a higher tier, I would feel more comfortable going against some of the enemy solo. As the low tier, you've got to just find weaknesses in your enemy. Either they're distracted, or they're taking fire from multiple friendlies. And this is a long range. This is a shot that you should do with AG. And I missed him. So that enemy Iowa is done with his base. And now I'm starting to take fire from him. And I say to my friend, he really has range on me? Island's not blocking? No, he can see you. It's so sad right there. Because he's basically dictating the speed of this engagement. He will kill me. He lands more rounds. If you land a single round, do 4k damage. Don't hit a vital part of the ship. And when you use AP, you want to try and land it so it'll go into the engine, which is center mass, lower deck, under the turrets. That's where the ammo is stored. Those will be considered citadel penetrations. Whereas HE, the damage is pretty consistent across the entire ship, and you have a chance at lighting them on fire. I've taken a lot of fire. So close to dead. My heal is about to come up. I want to live. Please dodge a shot. Please. Oh, I take fire, but I'm healing. There's an island in between me and that enemy that's in the 8 line. And I'm hoping for an ammo rack explosion on this guy. Because the game's almost over. I just want to live. There's no way either team can win. And you usually find this is what happens when there's a lot of battleships on both sides. They really like to dawdle. Oh gosh, so close. I only have one turret that will reload before the game will end. And the round's not going to get there in time. And the game ends. So close to a kill. But we survived. We were able to kill ships that were higher tier. And that's how you should deal with it. Hope you enjoyed.